Welcome back, everybody, to the BD1P Binding of Isaac Eden Streak. Today's going to be, believe it or not, an Eden run for our first win for like the third time in the last month. We're not going to talk about last run. What I wanted to do actually was do a daily run, but even with all my mods turned off and all my settings like normal, I'm not allowed to play dailies for whatever reason. So that's kind of a shame. Would have been a fun series to have happen, but if I figure it out, we'll do some daily runs on this channel. But either way, let's get started here. A couple of things I want to talk about. Seed, by the way, is going to be Cray, Cray Emmer. Cray Emmer. Moving box start could be potential for some big game breaks, and Libra off the bat is, I think, interesting. When you get, dude, 6 bombs and 6 keys, like, if to start, didn't it used to be 7? Maybe I'm being stupid, but that's a lot of really good access to early game libraries, shops, item rooms, dice rooms, vault rooms, bedrooms, secret rooms. And that's a really, it's an unpassable offer unless you start with like skeleton key or pyro or something along those lines. But as you may notice, 2 things: new headphones. My girlfriend got them for me for Valentine's Day, and I got them early because I'm doing a blindfolded Lego Star Wars playthrough, and I need to have good audio so I know what I'm standing on and what I'm doing in the game. So I thought, hey, if you got me headphones, I'm going to buy some right now, so you better say you already got them so I don't, have 2 pairs of headphones going on. It looks like she already got them for me, which is very nice. They were, I don't know, like $100 maybe. They're not the most comfortable things in the world, but they do the job well enough, I think. So I'm happy that I have them 100%. But the second thing is the camera is now front-facing again. I don't know which angle you guys prefer, but for my speed run I was doing yesterday, I wanted to have a front-facing camera because otherwise it blocks part of my OBS and I can't read chat and or like see my my splits, which is a big deal when you're running. So I figured that having it front-facing would work better for that, and so far I think it's working out just fine. What's in our shop? We have a lot of money right now. That's like the best item you can get with moving box. Like that's pretty much, I'm not going to say it's a dedicated game break, right? But it's really, really close. If you find, I want to get a bunch of pedestal items. That's actually pretty good for planetarium chance. I want to get a bunch of pedestal items in my moving box so that I can put it down in a room like this. That's pretty good to see. That's a new room. I haven't seen that one before in Isaac, but I don't have enough charges to really make that work, or any way to get an item down in there. So that's kind of a shame because we have 18 cents to spare. If I can maybe find a way to get a battery and still get a pedestal item, that would be nice. But either way, let's just go fight our boss right now. And the third thing I wanted to talk about is that speedrun. You guys may not care about it because you're Isaac viewers and not Lego speedrun fans, but I will try my best to explain the run and why it was like, I think it's the most, it's the coolest thing I've accomplished in my 2.5 years of doing content full time, however long it's been. I would say it was harder than doing the 30 character run. I would say it was harder than doing the 100 victory laps. I'd say it was harder than doing any of my no jump or don't do X challenges in those previous games. Because for once, I wasn't just competing against myself. I was competing against a bunch of other people. Metaphorically, I guess. I wasn't like directly competing against people. Like it wasn't like a race, but time-wise, I was competing, not completing, that's disgusting. I was competing against a bunch of other people. And it was mixed. It was very, very mixed. I will say that much. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to walk into the cursed room and try to use it. No, there is no enemy. Can I actually... That would be cool if that worked, but it did not work. Can I get anything cool? The sun card's pretty sick. I'll take that, I guess. And it's a better death card and world card. We're going to walk back in here. Boom. We're going to package that up. Buy this. Hey. That's pretty good. Hey. There was a battery in my shop. I would like D6 in my... Oh, please, dude. Okay, that's 2. Where's the ultra super secret room? Come on. Yes? The world is cruel. The world is cruel, unjust, and it hates me. There could be, before we start spending more money, let's think about this. We have a sun card right there. Are there pots in here? Okay, there's fires and there's pots in here. Wait, it's not gonna matter though, because we'll be putting the item down in that room. So I guess the question becomes, would you rather have... Man, what is this run, man? Because now I want to get this bomb. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. Boom. We're going to... Because this is a guaranteed damage upgrade right here. It wasn't small. Okay, I mean, that's still... I'm not going to complain about getting 4 goddamn spirit hearts, right? That's still pretty good. I think we just take a D6. I think double charge D6... I hate this game. I think double charge D6 is pretty good. And I guess we'll go downpour after that long floor. There was our 1 cent right there as well. Great. I'm so glad I spent so much time and money looking for that. But essentially, for like those unaware or out of the loop, so the last month of my life, I've been streaming almost exclusively Lego games for a big, huge 10-game speedrun I've been doing, where I go through the first 10 games and I play through every single bonus level in those games. The levels you get for getting 100% or having all the mini kits or all the money, whatever it may be, every single bonus or non-story level I'm playing out in a 10-game challenge. So 10 different games, 10 different, you know, different pieces of tech and speedrun skips, all combined into one category. There are 63 levels total. Some of those levels are under 10 seconds, a couple of them are over 10 minutes. So it's a very vast and complicated run, and I had never played any of those games as a speed game before, or like the bonus levels, that is. So I was essentially trying to learn 10 different speed games in the span of 3 weeks, and then the 4th week was the actual run, where I would go through and try to get a sub 2-hour time. The SOB, the sum of best for the whole category, was combining every single current world record, so the best those runs have ever been done, is just under an hour and a half. You gotta factor in now, because I'm playing multiple games at once, I have load times, I'm doing extra things to get to these levels that don't happen in those world record runs, and factoring all of that hub movement and things in, the best possible time that humans could achieve in this category, if you were to get all of the big world record holders together, would be an hour 46. So essentially I had 14 minutes of leeway time as a beginner in these games to complete them all and get a sub 2-hour time. I vastly underestimated how difficult that would be. I like Host Hat a lot. It's way better than Shard of Ass, tell you that much. Terrible, god-awful, no-good item. I will say I underestimated how difficult that would be. I am okay at those games as speed games. I'm nowhere near, you know, good or great, but I'm immune to explosions, dude. I can walk into all this stuff. I'm pretty okay. And the benefit of these categories is that they're usually pretty fast-paced, and they're like one-trick ponies, where you'll usually have one piece of tech that's like carrying you throughout whatever game it may be. And after taking a couple days to learn the basic games and taking some more to learn the harder games, I was kind of in a difficult spot, because one of the games, Lego Indiana Jones 2, is the worst speed game I've ever played. It's terrible. It's awful. You need to be running at 560 frames in that game to be able to do the ABL speedrun. And I was only hitting that amount of frames in about half the levels, which made my time, it was effectively impossible for someone to get even within like 3 minutes of world record if they didn't have the frames they needed in every single level. Because in order to jump up walls and do a bunch of collision bugs, you need to have a ton of frames. So I couldn't do that. So I was already going to be losing a ton of time. We'll call it just conservatively, like if I was playing at a god level speed, I'd be at least losing 3 minutes, putting me at only having about 9-10 minutes of leeway to make mistakes to get the sub 2-hour time. But I'm getting hit a lot in this stupid fight. I'm just excited about this run that I did yesterday. And to put more icing on the cake right there, another game that I had to learn, I had to learn a skill that I had been avoiding learning for forever. I'm gonna actually, I'll go in, because we have D6. Here's what I'll do. Well, it's not worth buying that. You're gonna do that. You're gonna do it again, and you're gonna be so upset you're gonna leave this room. I could have bought a void, but void D6 is strange, and I couldn't void the Bible without voiding up D6 as well, so that was not worth my time. I'm just gonna leave. I don't want to be on this floor anymore. There is a trick used in every single game where you have to play as two characters as one person, as one human being. Either using two controllers or two keyboards or one keyboard, one controller. You have to play as two people as once. And I've been avoiding learning that for a while because it's difficult, obviously. I mean, the human brain is not really, like, multitasking is a myth. You can't do it. So it's a very, like, challenging task to be able to do that. And I'm still bad at it. You know, I'm still no good. But one of the games, Harry Potter 5 through 7, the entire 10-minute bonus level is played with both players dropped in. So I had to learn how to basically route an entire level out as two different people, one hand on my controller, one hand on my keyboard, and play the entire game like that. That might be the most difficult thing I've ever done in a game. Like, genuinely, it was so frustrating, so tough to learn, that when I eventually got it down and I actually got a really, really, really insane time on that level. I golded, which is like the best I've ever done, by over 5 minutes on my second run, which was just absurd. But it was one of the most satisfying things to fully... Can you die? How much HP do you have? Is this a troll enemy? My lord, that guy lived forever, man. When I finally got that done, like, and I hit the 5-minute gold, I lost my shit. Hey, that's really good. I mean, that was like, it was absurd. And the biggest cincher is that was my 7th hour of being live that day. I'd only gotten through 2 runs in 7 hours because the first game, LIJ2, is home to a bunch of soft locks and things that can just generally, like, set you back. There's a bunch of bugs in that game where if you pretty much press any button while you're loading back into an area, it can soft lock you. You gotta restart the entire game. It kills a lot of runs if you're not being extra careful about it. Plus, that game is just bullshit in general. So I lost a lot of runs to LIJ2, and I actually stopped streaming for a bit because I was getting too upset at the game. This game is, like, stupid, it's dumb, nobody likes this game, get out of here. You're trash, give me money. It was just an awful, awful experience. So I stopped streaming, I ate dinner, and I thought to myself, I got a 206 on that run, so 2 hours and 6 minutes. And I was like, I gotta save 6 minutes somewhere. And on that run too, I had gotten 5 golds. So like I had played 5 games, the best I've ever played them, and I still didn't get a sub 2 hour. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get this today. But I'm like, I don't want to settle at like a 206, because I've gotten a 204 in practice before. I at least want to get a PB. So I came back and I was like, no matter what happens in LIJ2, we're just going to play it out. I don't care if it's like, you know, plus 30 seconds, plus 2 minutes. We're playing out LIJ2 regardless. And that was the best choice I could have ever made. I was about 2 seconds behind my last run. And that run was 30 seconds off of my PB. So I was like 32 seconds behind my best ever, which is not very good. I want to be within like 10 seconds usually, right? That'd be the ideal thing. But regardless, it was like whatever. Whatever. That was my final thoughts, were just whatever. Plus 32 seconds in total from PB. It's not good, but it's recoverable at the very, very least. So we went on to Harry Potter 1 through 4. Which was a game that I had struggled with in practice a lot, but I did pretty well in my 206 run. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm comfortable with 1 through 4. This is fine. And I golded that in my 206. I golded it by a whole minute, like the best I've ever done by a whole minute. And I'm not gonna expect to gold here. I'm gonna expect to just break even or do okay. I ended up golding 1 through 4 by yet another minute in that run. And that's when I kind of knew, like, okay, this run's kind of going crazy right now. just basically, like, if the 206 had not happened, I would have golded by 2 minutes in a game that only has 10 levels. That's pretty absurd in my eyes. What does watch battery do? Yes, I actually do really want that. So, yeah, I was pretty stoked, and I was kind of thinking, like, if this is my 7th hour in total of being live today, if any run's going to get sub 2 or PB, I'm going to just try my best to play it out. I was doing no resets, too. After game 1, like, after LIJ2, it was a no reset run. So I just kept it going. Next game up was the complicated 5 through 7, which had the difficult 1P2C movement that I was really bad at. I'm gonna bomb you. I don't like fighting Rainmaker. He's so strange. We got an angel deal. This is an opportune moment right here. Opportune moment. We're gonna get a key piece. We're gonna bomb the. We're gonna not bomb the key piece. We're going to roll everything in the room and maybe get a watch battery drop. How did that miss? We're gonna be in this room for a minute, but this was the one that I knew I had potential to save a lot of time, because in my 206 I got in about 18 minutes, which is really, really bad. But that was like what I was averaging, was 18, 16 minutes on that level. So I was pretty concerned about, like, either, because it's complicated, right? These bonus levels, a lot of about half their levels in the game are these collect 1 million stud things. And if you miss 1 or 2 objectives, or you miss 1 or 2 like little things you have to break or build, you could be wandering around for minutes trying to find the one small thing you missed. So I knew this game could royally screw me, or I could do really well. And on that game, I was not talking at all. I was just focusing on the game. Like, chat was quiet, I was quiet. I was just trying to get this game done. One of my friends, the record holder for 1 through 4, raided me. And I was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And I was just talking to him. And I think because I play so much Isaac when I'm talking and I make the better choices and plays when I am talking, my brain went into autopilot mode. And I started just going nuts. Like, I was going crazy without even realizing it. I finished the level without even, again, realizing when I think it's over. I finished it, and I golded by 5 minutes. I had PB'd by 5 minutes in one level. Ooh. Okay, you take the soul. I do like both of these. And with Libra, early on, this could be really good. Destiny Spear is great, but now we're going to get an all stats up for every soul heart that we get. That's pretty good. I do kind of want to roll these. If I can get a... I want to roll that as well. So why don't we do some... This is going to be a longer run for sure, but that's fine. I mean, I got time to kill. I'm doing nothing today because I plan to maybe be streaming the speedrun again, but obviously I'm not because I did really well. So I beat that run, the 5 through 7, and I was 5 minutes ahead of my last run at this point. I was doing really, really well. And I had to go into focus mode, right? Because if I fucked something up that late, oh, hey, look at that. If I would have messed something up that late down the road after golding 2 games in a row, one of them being by an absurd amount of time, I was going to be pretty pissed off at myself. Walk in here. No. Yes. That's better. But that's the freaking, that's the thing you want to get. No, I don't really want flip because D6 I think is more fun. I don't know. I'm not a big flip head. Call me crazy. I'm not big on flip right now. We're going to take our 2 HP ups and a trinket and we're going to leave this goddamn floor. But I was very far ahead, and I still wasn't on pace for sub 2. It's pretty early into the run still, but being 5 minutes ahead and 1 minute gold again puts me at 2 flat essentially. So it was teetering on going. This run could literally go any way. If I make one bad mistake, it's going to cost me. If I make a couple good moves, though, I could have some insurance policy, right? I could make more mistakes and be fine. And I think the next game after, yeah, it was Pirates of the Caribbean was next, which is a one-trick pony. It's a 2-minute long category where all you do is you wall jump. And what that entails, it's not like LIJ2 where it's just you have a high FPS and you can just mash A and you jump up. You have to swap into a character whose hitbox is bigger while you're up against a wall, which will wedge them into the wall, swap back, jump, and then repeat that for like 30 times in a row to get really high up in the air. And out of bounds, of course. It's a pretty difficult trick when you first learn it, but once you get the rhythm down, it's like muscle memory. So I wasn't concerned at all for this game. I could lose a bunch of time if I wasn't jumping properly or my rhythm was off. I could lose a bunch of time, but I didn't think that was going to happen because, it's a pretty simple trick. And wouldn't you know it, I golded again by like 20 seconds in that category, which put me below sub 2. Now at this point, I was like, okay, we are on pace for the run that I want to get. We're at like a 1:59.40 right now as like our pace. That is absurd. That's crazy. And the next game up on the list is Lego Star Wars 3, which is the same as Pirates. It's just a bunch of wall jumps. But the difference here is that these wall jumps you're doing them blind, because for the entire game, you're behind an out-of-bounds wall. Or not for the entire game, but for a large portion of this category, I'm going to do this, actually. You are behind a wall, so you can't see your character, which makes it infinitely harder. And there is a chance the run could die. It's a very small chance. There's a chance the run can die right here. Mainly because in this game's category, when you're out of bounds like that, if you walk a little bit too far off the ledge of this invisible platform that you're on, you'll get stuck in an infinite death loop, essentially. And if that happens, you soft lock, and you got to either restart the level or the game or restart your entire run. And I was a little bit nervous. That had happened to me once before in a run, and it killed it. And I was very upset because it had never happened before. So I think rightfully so, I was pretty terrified of that mistake happening. I cannot take explosion damage. That was a shitty thing. That was dumb. I'm going to actually bomb this for Magic Mush. Okay, that wasn't Magic Mush, but leave me alone. Take a hit of damage here, thank you. I want to get that half soul heart for a stats upgrade and get really powerful. But I was trying to play extra safe, and that made me make some mistakes. I was pretty slow on a couple of my wall jumps, and it was not pleasant. But ended up, by the end of that category, because of my decently well played level 2, I golded again by about 20 seconds. So at this point in the run, I had only lost time in one game, and I was PBing as my best ever in every other game. And I'm kind of going like crazy. I'm like, there's no way it's happening right now. I had just eaten my Kroger brand ravioli. Like it came out of nowhere. I was not expecting. It was gonna be like more of like a practice. So that tomorrow, today, for you guys or for me, I guess, I could come back afterwards and reset like another record and be more prepared this time for the big time losses that can happen in the run. I was going insane, and you get those nerves a little bit. Hey. You get those nerves when you go and just like a little crazy when you're getting on a good pace. You're kind of like, I don't want to mess this up. Please don't mess it up. And you get a little bit nervous. I was getting quite nervous. I was getting very, very, very nervous. Like I was like, oh God, like I could theoretically screw this run up. That was a bad bomb. I'm going to keep bombing these. I know it's here. I found pills and amnesia. Epic. I knew that there was a chance. I could screw this up. I thought there was a cursed room. I guess I'm wrong. So, I was focusing. Where's my boss fight? My nose is so stuffy, I apologize. After Lego Star Wars 3, which was another gold. Oops, there's the cursed room. Next up was the complete saga, which is technically Lego Star Wars 3, because it's the third Lego Star Wars game, but not actually. So, this game I'd had one major issue with in the past, and that was one skip. In the second, I had two major issues. One of them was a skip in the second to last level that skips an entire, like, it's essentially like an auto-scrolling section. And you can wedge yourself into a wall, which will skip the entire auto-scroller. It's not hard to do, but it's a little bit precise for positioning. I'd gotten that pretty easily. It was no big deal. And the million stud levels went pretty well as well, just because I'd played those out, you know, over and over and over. I don't know if I should take that. I'm all out of rooms to do. I'll leave that. I like D6 is working out real well for us. Why would I ditch that then? And the only other issue I'd had in that game was a racing level where it's a very touchy, to put it lightly. You hit a wall, you die and get sent back a lap. You fall into a pit, you die and get sent back a lap. You touch another racer and you lose time. If you don't finish a lap in a certain amount of time, and it's a very, very, very tight window, you get sent back a lap. So a lot of room for error. And in my 206, I had ended up dying 4 times, which was my most deaths ever. So I tried to look at my live split to see how far ahead I was, and I had hit a rock, which sent me like 30 meters into the air, and I hit a wall and then exploded and died. So it was not a very good feeling. Oh, baby. So I was pretty heartbroken about that, because it wouldn't have put me at sub 2. That run, it would have put me at like 204. I lost like 2 minutes. It was pretty bad. So I was pretty focused going into pod race. I was like, this needs to go well. Hey, I'm not going to hedge my bets. That's a very good one. Oh, wow. Thank you for the good sounding troll bomb right there. That's really cool of you. I'm still sick too, so I'm very sorry about my coughing and my nose. I have not gotten better in the last like 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on with me. Like I'm just mentally drained from all these stupid speedrun things. But oh, it's stupid. Great job, BD1P. Pod race was scary. Now normally you take around 1 death. There's chance for you to take 2, and if you take 2 deaths, one of them is somewhat unavoidable. There's like a ghost boost panel that doesn't really exist in the game, but if you go over a certain patch of ground, it just boosts you really far forward into a rock and you die, and it's invisible, so you can't really tell where it is. That was a bit terrifying. I am actually going to see if I can get a secondary charge for my deal that's coming up here. Assuming I get a deal, which I hope I do. One more room we can go fight our boss. So I was... great. I knew that like if anything was going to go wrong, it was going to be pod race. So I held my breath, and I ended up doing a 0-death pod race, which was pretty nice. I was extremely happy with that. The last lap, you have half a second of error to get it done and not get sent back. So that was pretty insane. I was over the moon about that. And the next 2 games, which I golded, by the way, by like a minute. I golded again on TCS, and I was like, what the hell is going on? This is like absurd. I don't know what's happening right now. Next game is LEGO Star Wars 1, which is just a rehash of, well, the complete saga is a rehash of LEGO Star Wars 1 and 2 put together, but the bonus levels in both of those are just ones that are found in TCS. They're just done a bit slower because they're on a different engine, or a slower engine. So I did pretty okay in those. I think I did as best as I could have with my game knowledge going into it, and it was whatever. I think I want to say I golded one of them, but I think I might have just greened. I might have just gotten a green split, if I'm not mistaken. So that was that. It was fine. And then I only had 2 more games to go after LEGO Star Wars 1 and 2, separately, obviously. I had LEGO Batman 1, which in my 206 gave me a really bad time. I had lost over a minute to missing a stud. And in that level, if you miss one stud, you have to go back through the entire thing in order to get that stud back. Wow. Wow. We are going to be so strong on this run. And I ended up getting exactly 1 minute behind my PB, which is bad, because a minute of time loss in a category like that, when I'm teetering on the edge of that's bad. And that was my 206. And I was hoping it wouldn't happen again. And I had played a somewhat okay first LEGO Batman level. It was alright. I get to the end, which is a bullshit section. You can watch the video on it. It's going to come out on the main channel on Friday if you want to. You can watch that if you really feel like it, to see what exactly happened. But essentially, I had swapped it, and I counted this earlier today. I was going to pick up a stud that was worth 10,000, so a pretty big one. And I had swapped my character to a different one, just like to go back and speed things up. I had swapped one single frame before I would have touched and collected that stud. And because there's an explosion animation going on and I'm collecting that, I couldn't really see if I got it or not. So I assumed that because, you know, I was where I needed to be and, you know, I've never missed it before, I had thought I got it. And so I went back. I had finished the game on my new run that I'm doing right now, and I realized I'm missing a stud. And I go back through and it's that one. And I am just about, once again, I lost a minute to that. And I felt so dumb. And then my second level Lego Batman 1 was whatever. It's like 3 minutes long. It's not hard at all. It was around like a 2:07 or something like that. So it was pretty all right. It was average. But losing that minute to Lego Batman 1, looking at my times, I was barely 1 minute ahead for getting a 2:0, a sub 2. A single minute. I had to somehow... I could play Indiana Jones to my PB with a minute of error. And my PB for LIJ1 is my best PB. Like, it's my most optimized one. Because I'd played that out quite a bit. And I was shaking. I was so nervous. It's a 2-hour speed run. So, like, I'm sitting there, like, if I mess up, I lose 2 hours of my life and don't really gain much out of it besides, like, a little bit of practice, right? So it's disheartening to lose. It's very, very sad to lose. Wow, okay. That's sure. You know what? What's in this one? I gotta know. I see a lot of Brimstone guys down there. This is a very fun room. Look at this. I'm gonna D-boost back through that. That's fine. You know what, dude? What is this? I don't care. Oh, quad shot and hey, dude, we are straight balling right now. This is quite the run. We get some more soul hearts at the top of our crawl space as well. This is great. This is a wonderful run. And going into LIJ1, I will say, I don't think I've ever been more nervous for like anything in the last year. I mean, even real life, you know, non-video game things. Because I know I choke a lot in these things, right? So I know that I'm going to make a mistake that's going to cost me. I can only make up to 60 seconds of error, and I have 3 levels to play through. 3. One of them being one of those big 1 million stud things. Like, I could miss something and then be down a lot. Especially with nerves setting in. There's a good chance I could lose something big there. So I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. And the first level of LIJ1 is one that I've never, ever, ever messed up before. There's like a total of 2 trick jumps in that level. 2. Well, 3. There's an out-of-bounds jump at the end. There's a mini jump skip in the middle. And at the beginning, there's the harder jump. And it's like a 30-second time save skip. I have never, and I mean never, ever missed this jump before in my life. And of course, going into it, I missed the jump. I missed it again. And I missed it a 3rd time. I lost maybe about 30 seconds. 15. We'll say 15 to 20 seconds. I shouldn't over-exaggerate there. It's like 5 seconds to each death. And more for like resetting up the jump and all that. So that was a pretty sizable loss. I recovered though. Finished it out without missing anything else. Good out-of-bounds jump. Good, you know, middle jump. It was... I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And we're going to sacrifice down to save some time for ourselves here. We can totally do this, I think. I have faith in us. But I missed that jump, and I came out of that level at about... I think I was at like 151. And the bonus level is not going to get done it's around a 5-minute level. So if I play... It's 5.5, 6, I guess, if you're playing it's like a little bit slower and not a world record holder, which I was not. So I was in this level, this bonus level, knowing that if I miss something, I could very well be behind. and I could lose the speed run. I guess it gives a guy like me a lot of nerves, to say the very, very least here. Are we going to die if we Nah, we're going to live this. Just trust me. I'm going to get a charge up so I can roll these 2 items in here. When the other key piece spawns, we'll be okay. Plus, we have a shop to go to, so look at that. Also go into our boss trap room. Potentially, if it wants to be nice to us. Okay. Let's wait on buying any of this stuff. And let's go do this. I need to take a heart of damage somewhere else. That way I can go into the boss trap room to get my charge off. So we're going to do that. We're going to get a charge in here. And we're going to get HP back, which is good. Very, very nice for us. Make sure you gotta pick up the heart. You don't want to be at 1 heart in this room, because a lot of these bosses can contact damage kill you in 1 hit. Especially Mask of Infamy. Speak of the freaking devil, dude. So I knew I was at the very end of my rope here. I was like, oh, I should have used, so I can take this for next floor. Wait, was that a sun card I had? Oh my god, we're so fine, dude. What am I doing? Let's go into here. Let's go boom, boom, boom. Wow, that's real nice. Roll these into chemical peel for damage up and fruitcake for some craziness. We're gonna get there. I love sacrificing. It's so much fun in this game. You give me. Don't care, don't care, don't care. That's okay. We'll walk into a room, we'll pop the sun card, and we're good to go. Killed immediately, and we're going the right way, which is a great feeling to the boss fight. That is not really a Mega Satan type run in my eyes, but essentially, as I'm in this room, or in this level, I feel like I'm going slow. And I check my time on my right, and I see that I'm going really fast. Like, I'm so scared I'm going so fast I'm gonna miss something, because I'm like, there's no way I can be at this point of the game. I was 10 seconds ahead of where I should have been halfway into the level, which is absurd. So I was kind of freaking out, like, there's no way. Like, I totally missed some big thing. And it turns out I had missed nothing. And I ended up PBing that level, which was my most optimized level ever. I PB'd that by 10 seconds. And I enter the final level of the run, that being Warehouse, where you just sit there and spam a bazooka button for a while till you get a bunch of money. I do that, and I get a time of 1:57:30. That's not a... Oh, I guess it's just a bone on the ground. But I can go back here real quick. Sure. Let's have some fun with it, shall we? Let's go into here. Look how powerful we are. Look at this, dude. It's insane. I had gotten my sub to that I'd worked the last whole entire month for 31 hours of practice streams. Just like this run, it ended off, and I was very happy. If you enjoyed the video, my commentary, liking a comment goes a long way for a small channel like mine. If you like the video, sub, whatever you want to do. In the meantime, though, I've been BD1P. Peace out, and goodbye.